So I have this little problem here. I think my servo is dying. You have to be rolling for it to turn. So this servo is on the way out. It's just a little JX 17G servo. So I went and got a 14 kilogram Injora servo. It's the low profile, so there's not a lot of depth to it, which is nice because this is a smaller scale and this is meant for a bigger scale. It's actually the same depth as the 17G. It's just a little bit wider. So this axle servo mount isn't gonna work, which is why I bought this LCX carbon fiber servo mount. So what I'm gonna have to do is I'm gonna have to do a little bit of modifying. I'm gonna have to drill some of my own holes so that way I can mount this plate where this one is. So let's get started. So I'm gonna take these side pieces off here because I want to use this mount for something. So as you can see right here for the suspension links, this mount, it sits a little bit higher than this crossbar here for the servo mount. And when you put this, the new one, it won't sit flat. I could just put washers in between because I'm gonna have to drill holes to match these holes here. I think the washers, with the size of this mount, I don't want it to be too weak with just washers. I want something pretty solid there. So I'm gonna use the old servo mount. I'm gonna cut these little extensions off here so that way this sits flat. So I'll use the thickness of this to raise this higher than the suspension link mount there. And with this mount, it covers a lot of area. It'll give a lot more support to this bigger servo mount than what like a couple washers would do. So I got it all centered up. I used some super glue, glued it down. So next step is we're gonna drill through the holes there, and wherever they come through on this side, then we're gonna countersink them. So that way this screw will sit below the surface of this carbon mount. So there we are, we're on the other side. So now we're gonna countersink it with a bigger drill bit. And to countersink, you don't wanna go real far in there. You just wanna go deep enough that the head of the screw goes below the surface. So it took a few times where I had to countersink a little bit further, just keep going because I didn't want to go too far. But now you can see we're pretty flush with the top there. So now the only thing left to do is to hook up the servo horn. Now it does come with these plastic servo horns that you could use. We have these aluminum 25 tooth servo horns here, red and black. It comes in a pair. You can't just pick one or the other. So if you wanted a black one, you have to get the red one anyway. First thing we should do though, before we put the servo horn on, is we need to plug it into the receiver and turn it on. Make sure the steering trim is all the way at 0. So we have the trim at 0. Now we can put the servo horn on. So there it is. We are finished now. We got the 14 kilogram Injora servo on. Let's test it out. Let's see. Oh yeah, no problem. That fits pretty good right in there. Nice. Let's take this out and do a little crawling with it. So we're here at one of my favorite spots. The locals know this as the Boxcar Rocks, but we are pretty high up off the ground here. That is about an 80-90 foot drop. You get a great view. Oh, look over there. Check out how it is there. That looks like a good place to crawl. Let's go over there. cheat code. Like I'm stuck here, but this was a good little section here. I'm actually impressed with how good this LCG crawler did. We're gonna end the video right here, but there is more to come with this. I'm actually gonna stretch it out just a little bit longer, not much, but a little bit longer, and I'm gonna put the Mudslinger tires on and see how that looks. Now that we have this 14 kilogram servo, it has enough power to turn those wheels. But that'll do it for this video. If you made it this far, you're awesome. If you didn't click that subscribe button already, go ahead and click it, and you can join me when I do the next mods to this WPL LCG. Let's get out of here. Oh.